All right. So ever since I posted that video yesterday about my conversation with Richard Hart, which, yes, I know for those of you that know, the conversation was already from the conference. It wasn't a new conversation. However, I always want to get people to click. That's important. We're trying to get everybody in crypto and everyone that we know to click on these videos so they can learn something new. However, ever since I posted that conversation with Richard Hart, people have asked me, who is Richard Hart? What is there about him? And then people Google Richard, and what do they find out? They often find out that many people think that Richard Hart's a scam. It's most often embittered old Bitcoin maximalists that didn't free claim their HEX, or people that just simply missed out on the sale. We already know there aren't many victims in HEX, if any. And so anyway, I've been asked that question, and people have been asking, is Richard Hart and is HEX a scam? Well, thanks to Crypto Exposed, I have an answer for that for you.
HEX is not a scam. HEX is not a scam.
Thank you, Crypto Exposed. So, speaking of Crypto Exposed, I don't know if many of us Hexkins have acknowledged his video, good, bad, or indifferent. He did a pretty good deep dive. He said he's going to do 2 more videos about it, but little backstory before we dive into it. I was in the airport on my way to Vegas. First time I saw Crypto Exposed channel, he was going after crypto banter, and he was pulling receipts. He was pulling receipts about some of the insider trading coins, donkey coins, things like that. And anyway, I was like, man, this guy's brutal. And when I saw him do something about Richard Hart, I'm like, oh no, here we go. Another thoughtless attack on Richard. However, kudos to you, Crypto Exposed. You actually called a spade a spade. I don't like all the things you said in the video. However, for the most part, you called things how they were. So what I want to do is essentially react or kind of go through that video and do some commentary on it. So let's get right into it. All righty.
Let's talk about Richard Hart. I actually thought about it, and he's not a scammer. He's definitely not a scammer.
Is Richard Hart a genius,
Yes.
a scammer, or both? Are Hexicans the best community in crypto, or the dumbest people on the earth? Will HEX replace Bitcoin, or is it just a rug pull? How much money would you have if you bought $1,000 worth of HEX at the start of the bull run? And would I buy any now? Richard.
So very good intro. I like the way you draw the attention in. However, let's kind of get in the meat and potatoes of it, because those are questions that a lot of people have. Those are you'll hear right now that he says. You'll hear what he says right here.
Hart is the most requested person I've been getting to cover on the channel, and for a very good reason. You can learn so much about crypto and scams by going down the Richard Hart rabbit hole. It's going to take me at least another 2 to 3 videos to unpack everything that I have to say about him, his projects, and his philosophy. But before I get into my opinions about him, here's a quick recap of the most relevant points about Richard Hart. He went.
Okay, so this is kind of the meat and potatoes of it. And by the way, the reason I'm pausing is because I have to kind of I have to make sure that I'm not just replaying the video. So Crypto Exposed, please don't copyright strike me. I'm giving you kudos in this. So anyway, let's go in.
To a school for the gifted as a child. He went to build many businesses, one of them reaching a self-reported annual revenue of $60 million per year. After retiring at a young age, he learned about Bitcoin by chance. Then he started mining it back when you could mine 50 Bitcoin a day from a laptop. He started HEX, a project designed to be a better Bitcoin. He marketed HEX with tactics that are usually associated with online scams.
Okay, let's touch on that real quick. He marketed it with tactics usually used to market online scams. Now, Richard himself will be one of the ones to tell you that it had to be marketed like a scam would be marketed. Not saying it was marketed as a scam, but a lot of the tactics that scam tokens use or the scams use to market are effective, unfortunately. And so Richard willingly admits that he employed some of these tactics. In fact, he said it was necessary to achieve essentially the network effect that was needed to get the success that we have received in HEX so far.
past 2 years, HEX is up 440x from its creation, with an
Not too
all-time
bad.
high nearing 2000x. Despite its
Hold on, correction. All-time high nearing 2000x if you don't count the bottom. Now, I like to measure things when I'm measuring a chart. I like to go from the bottom to the top when I'm actually measuring kind of the total growth that it's done. And I think it's done almost to 12,000x. And if I got that from K4K stream, K4K crypto, shout out, brother. And if you staked, you got almost double that if you'd staked your coins before big payday. So let's keep going.
11-figure market cap, many people call HEX a scam. CoinMarketCap refuses to list HEX anywhere higher than number 201. So what?
CoinMarketCap, owned by whom? Binance and CZ, if I'm not mistaken.
What's the big deal? Nobody complained about Shiba Inu's 400,000x returns, even though it's worthless. How is HEX any different? I personally know many people who hold Doge and Shiba but call HEX a scam. How is HEX getting all of this hate? I know this will...
Okay, so just got to keep pausing and making a point, but Shiba Inu, not calling your coin worthless because we do want you on the Pulse chain. You will have P Shiba on the Pulse chain. And so do not let this gentleman right here in this video offend you, or whichever finger it would be. I'm not looking at my recording screen.
Get me tons of hate from both sides, but here's my honest opinion on the situation. Richard used the scammy marketing tactics to promote a product that isn't a scam. While hurting his reputation, this approach made him and early HEX adopters ridiculous amounts of money. This made the people who missed out hate him even more and double down on going after his reputation. I'm going to unpack this statement in depth with this video. But first, we need to understand a bit more about Richard's career. You see, his non-crypto business experience is heavily tied with how HEX was promoted, which I believe to be the main reason for its terrible reputation.
By the way, terrible reputation. I completely disagree. I'm part of a community that has thousands in it. In fact, Pulse Chain itself had hundreds of thousands of addresses sacrificed for it. So I think HEX's reputation is actually one of the best cryptocurrencies. It's just simply the biggest regret that most people have because they simply didn't get in, and they're upset because it looked like a scam and they thought they were smarter than they were. They didn't listen to Richard, and they still don't listen to Richard. That's the problem. Listen to the dude that made it work. So I skipped over a lot of the part that Crypto Exposed went into kind of pay-per-click advertising and some of the history of it. One of the reasons is we don't need all of that in the video. I want to keep it a bit shorter, but it's I think he's doing a good job of actually going into Richard Hart's career and how he made his original money that allowed him to retire at, I believe, what, 24 years old?
However, shady marketing by itself is not a guarantee that something is a scam.
If you see a guy drowned in jewelry and covered with all this spectacle, your brain would be right to say scammer. When you see charts of 1,000,000% returns in 2 years, you're right to think, oh, it's got to be a scam. And you'd be 99.9% right. It would save you a lot of money and a lot of horror, and it would save you a lot of pyramid schemes and a lot of scams and a lot of Ponzi's. It would save you all that. But you would also miss that one rare little sliver of world change that actually happened.
Now I'm not.
See, now that part is such a good clip. That part is, I've been looking for that clip for a while. I know he says it in several different ways in some of his other videos, but because it had to be marketed like a scam, because it had a lot of the pumpamentals and different things that made people think that it was going to be a scam, a lot of people passed on it. And now again, does that mean that Hexkins got lucky, or does it mean that we actually had discerning brains and actually looked to understand Richard and believed in him, as opposed to just falling for these dumb tactics? That's where I kind of have a bone to pick with Crypto Exposed, which you'll see here in a minute.
Not too sure about his statement about quote-unquote world change, but I do generally agree with the statistics he's provided. I believe that the vast majority of HEX investors are idiots who got conned into buying something that, by pure luck, turned out to not be a scam, based on how it was marketed.
Okay. I don't think that's the case. I think early HEX investors Sure, we got lucky. I mean, we got lucky to a degree. However, we chose the right project. We did our research. We found someone that we believed in, that knew what they were talking about, that was in Bitcoin since basically the beginning, and we decided to jump in. I mean, that's what's going on with it. The way I met Richard, the way I found out about Richard was on Big Boy Crypto's channel. And it was so evident just the way that he was talking that he knew what he was talking about. Me being a guy that got into Bitcoin in 2013. And so anyway, I have a bone to pick with you, Crypto Exposed, as far as what you said about us being dumb people.
And the information available at the time, HEX was indistinguishable from a scam for most people who put money into it. On a balance of probabilities, if you invested 0.1% of your money into 1,000 different projects with a similar pitch, odds are that you'd end up losing money overall. The only reason they put their money into HEX and not some other rug pull or BizOp scam is that they found a Richard Hart video before the ad for some other scam.
Okay. Another issue another bone I have to pick. What do you mean they found another Richard Hart video for another scam? Name another scam that Richard Hart has a video about that he's not calling out himself. What does Richard promote? Projects that he himself has created. There's even phenomenal projects on our blockchain, such as Hedron. As of today, Maximus. Lots of other great things. And but Richard only promotes his own projects. He literally only promotes his own projects. So what do we have so far? We have HEX, we have Pulse Chain, we have PulseX, and that's it. He's going to look for a wallet replacement, but other than that, so that we can have the entire ecosystem. But other than that, that's all we have.
If you lucked into HEX, congratulations, but be realistic about the luck component of your successful investment. If you're a Hexican and you are offended by this, you are one of the dumb ones. Again,
okay, I'm not gonna label any Hexican anything. However, I'm certainly not offended by it. Again, most people have us misunderstood, and even Crypto Exposed has us misunderstood. You'll see this a bit later also, but don't take offense to that.
Again, this statement does not make HEX a scam. When I started researching Richard Hart, I was 420% sure that he was a scammer. He is a parade of red flags. But the more I dug into the evidence, the claims he made, and the information regarding the actual project, the harder it was.
He's a parade of magic carpets.
For me to call it a scam. I never thought I would say this, but here's a clip where Crypto Banter brilliantly explains why you cannot, in good conscience, call HEX a scam.
A scammer is someone who says to you that they're going to do one thing, you give them your money, and they do something completely different. They tell you that they're going to deliver something, and then they run away with your money, or they steal the money. Richard Hart didn't do that. Richard Hart is very transparent. He said, HEX does exactly what it's supposed to do.
And that's really it. HEX does what it says it does.
And that is so important. HEX does exactly what it's supposed to do. So for any of those of you that are new to crypto, sorry, HEX is basically the first blockchain certificate of deposit, and it pays astronomical inflation back to us as those that stake our coins, which I'll do some more introductory videos that kind of describe what staking is and things like that, and why I say inflation rather than interest. However, there are many other Hexkins videos that go into those. I can't shout everyone else right now, but I will in the next few videos. However, let's keep going.
Nothing more, nothing less. Is the marketing shady as f*** and mostly targeted at broke and ignorant people? Yeah.
Dude, I disagree. Tell me if I'm wrong, guys. Hexicans and anyone else watching this, please put in the comments, is it targeted at broke and helpless people or whatever he said? I mean, sure, I know that there are many Hexicans that were in a broken and bad spot when they found Hex. Was it targeted at them? I don't know. I think that they sought out solutions. Richard had solutions to life that actually resonated with them. I mean, I know Abit, look at his story. Abit was literally basically homeless, addicted to drugs in Germany. And he'd been following Richard since way before he was creating a crypto token. He was talking about Bitcoin at the time. But Richard does self-help books. He provides them for free. Name anyone else that provides their own self-help book for free. I'm waiting. Okay.
Does that make HEX a scam? Nope. Does Richard leverage his intelligence and charisma to get people to buy into HEX without really understanding how it works? Yes.
Does he leverage his charisma? He's charismatic. Does it work? Sure. I guess he leverages his charisma. Maybe. I don't know.
Does that make HEX a scam? No. Does Richard engage in intellectually dishonest debate tactics to undermine HEX critics? Yes. Does
intellectually dishonest debate tactics? Show me any of his debates and show me how they're intellectually dishonest. Every single fact that Richard says is correct. Intellectually dishonest debate tactics. Now, I know that he is a very skilled debater, having been a debater myself. Yet I wouldn't call them intellectually dishonest. I wouldn't. I don't know if I think that what he's trying to do right here is he's trying to play both sides of the fence. He knows that HEX isn't a scam, but he does not want to piss everyone off that is convinced that HEX is a scam. So like he said, he's going to get hate either way. That's why I'm giving him love, because I appreciate that he's at least saying the most important thing, which he says in a few different ways.
HEX is not a scam. HEX is not a scam. Cannot, in good conscience, call HEX a scam.
Yeah. Thanks for those sound bites, by the way.
Does that make HEX a scam? Nope. Before you post an angry comment about how I'm just a HEX fanboy, which, as you'll see in the rest of this video, I am most absolutely not, I want you to take a step back and look at this objectively. The vast majority of people calling HEX a scam are either uninformed about the claims made by Richard and what HEX does exactly, or are struggling with the cognitive dissonance between the scammy marketing and the non-scammy nature of the project, which is...
or they're bitter.
Exasperated by the hate and jealousy for the obnoxiously flexing Richard. I mean, what other credible crypto influencer lists how many millions of dollars in watches they own in the description of their YouTube videos?
Okay, hold on. Now, this needs to also be addressed. Again, for those of you that are new to Richard Hart. So, Richard knows that, first of all, when it came to his watches, he wanted to put as much value packed into one screen as possible. And what is a very easy way to pack value into a small amount of space are watches, right? And when Richard has watches that are worth more than $1 million for a single watch, and he has many millions of dollars of watches, it's easy for him to do that. Now, the audience, people seek those things out. They seek Louis Vuitton out. They seek Gucci out. Richard himself says that he thinks his stuff is clown suits. Some of it he likes. He says he thinks it's ridiculous, but he does it for us. He does it so that people can find the project. We can grow the network effect of the project, and ultimately everyone wins. That's the whole point of why he does it. So there's reason behind, there's method behind the madness with Richard always.
If you hate Richard, take a step back, observe your emotions objectively, and look at the facts. HEX is not a scam. You probably wish it was. A part of my brain probably wishes that it was too, but it's just not. By the way, if you haven't seen the Crypto Banter interview of Richard Hart, I strongly recommend you watch the whole thing. It really hurt.
I think you should too, by the way. Bran did a great job, and he considers himself a Hexagon also, but he did a good job of interviewing Richard, and you'll hear that he likes his how well he did with it also.
Hurts to admit this, but if your goal is to critically and objectively evaluate whether HEX is a scam, it is the best interview of him I've found on YouTube so far. Bran really did a great job on this one, holding Richard to the same degree of accountability that I try holding Crypto Banter to in these videos.
And he roasts Crypto Banter. He roasts him. I mean, again, but yet he couldn't Richard.
I'm amazed by how objectively he can cover projects when he has no money to be made by shilling it. Bran, you should do more interviews like this. Another important thing I want to point out is the main objective criticism pointed towards HEX. The criticism that HEX has no utility outside of its ability to pump its own price. If this is your definition of a scam, then sure, HEX is a scam. Sure, the fact that $1,000 invested in HEX 2 years ago would be worth over $440,000 today.
Nice.
Is irrelevant. Going up in price over a relatively short period of time does not mean something isn't a scam.
he's belaboring the point, but he needs to, for those that don't know. Essentially what it comes down to, I'm going to fast forward this a bit, because what you need to realize is if that is your argument that HEX does not have utility outside of its ecosystem, then you're also agreeing that Bitcoin, Ethereum, every single other cryptocurrency is a scam. So that argument falls flat on its face.
But if you believe this argument, you should also believe that Bitcoin, Bitcoin
right,
Cash,
there we go.
Litecoin, Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, and every other crypto without utility is a scam. Yes, you heard me right. The only logically valid arguments by which HEX is a scam are the same arguments by which Bitcoin is a scam too. You can believe what you want, but you need to be consistent. When I see someone like Peter Schiff, who has been claiming that Bitcoin will go to zero for years.
By the way, Peter, on behalf of Hexkins, I'm sorry, man. I wish I had a button with some sounds to take a moment of silence, but let's just take a moment of silence for Peter Schiff and that debate that he had with Richard. Okay, sorry about that.
I can respect his coherent arguments around HEX being a scam. However, if you believe in Bitcoin but think that HEX is a scam just because it has no utility outside of its tokenomics and use as a store of value, your logic is inconsistent, and there's a very good chance you're just doing mental gymnastics to justify hating a smug, arrogant genius who, while playing perfectly by the rules, made potentially hundreds of millions of dollars in an opportunity you missed out on, while also aggressively flexing on you every day. And I completely understand.
I mean, hey, hey, and again, Richard flexes with intent, right?
Richard has a very punchable face.
Boo. No, he doesn't. In fact, Crypto Exposed, I will put up 50,000 HEX right now to see you and Richard get in the ring. Now, Richard wouldn't do it. You probably wouldn't do it either. You're doing pretty well for yourself. But I promise you, Richard will manhandle you, brother. Just saying. Not trying to incite anything.
Of course, you're going to want to hate him too. Of course, your brain is going to steer towards finding evidence that proves him to be a scammer. But as far as I've seen so far, there is none. HEX is not a scam. Did I ever buy any HEX? No. Am I pissed off that I missed out? Yeah. Will I buy any HEX? No, because the current
Okay, hold on. Let's finish his thought.
risk-reward ratio of the project isn't something I'm comfortable with.
Okay, that's fair. Everyone should only invest with what they're comfortable. But dude, come on. You literally see all this information and you still don't want to invest in it? That's cognitive dissonance to me. But again, to each his own. We'll see you at the top, man. We're always you're always welcome in our community, my brother.
But with the information I have at hand, I cannot, in good conscience, call HEX a scam. I really wish I could. It would make great content, but I can't.
It would.
Well played, Richard. Now, if you think HEX is a...
So, yeah, what do you end with?
Well played, Richard. Well played, Richard.
Well, that's basically it. So, that's all I got. Please remember, like, subscribe, share. Sorry, it was a little longer video than I planned tonight. The next ones aren't going to be as long, but I wanted to make sure that I covered this video because I thought it was super important. So, yeah, HEX is not a scam. Let's hear it again.
HEX is not a scam.
All right.
Thanks, Hexiest man in the world.
Hey, you're welcome, Richard. I appreciate that, man. All righty. Let me get rid of this and let's run the outro. Remember, like, subscribe, and share, please. Thank you. Whoa, what are you doing, little man? What? What? Oh, speaking of that.
Congrats on the kid, man.
Buddy, hey, come here. Come here, buddy. Hey, dude. It's time for you to bust a flow on the mic, little man. Oh, you're sleepy? Hey, time for you to bust a flow on the mic, dude. Yes, my precious little boy. Oh, now you guys are hearing my baby speech. Hey, dude, you're tired. Do you have anything to say, buddy? All right. Well, Thank you, everyone.